And humidity has fallen off. We're in the last week of August already. Tired of not being able to travel, if only just to see something. Why not? Some new SLV videos up. It's my language vlog. Where could you live for $1,000 a month? Folks, it's Monday, August 22nd, 2022. I'm Steven Sersky. I was out on Saturday. So that's sort of its theme, and that's where it's getting its name from. It's confidential. So it's confidential or reserve? Oh, I can't recall. Commune reserve? Oh, geez, I can't remember. I think it's confidential. And they had some live music on it, so it was kind of neat. The guy asked, he's like, "Yeah, so what should I play?" And I'm like, "Come As You Are" by Nirvana. And he started playing it, and he's like, "I haven't ever played this before," so I got that on video, sent to a buddy of mine. And yeah, it was the night did go on a little bit. Needless to say, Sunday's bike ride was a little bit more rough. Did manage to still go for a run on Sunday morning, so that was a good little 20-minute run as well. So can you believe we're in the last week of August already? I was looking at the calendar. I'm like, it can't be this, right? Because I'm like looking for the seasonal gold performance, right? I'm like, oh, it's still got time to pop in August. It's like August is almost over. It pops again usually into September as well, like the first week of September. So that's what I was kind of looking for. And I'm seeing now like futures are all over the place. Like the markets have been going down. China got hit last week with, I guess there's been a new spike in COVID numbers. And so the result is that markets have sold off a little bit, which kind of seems appropriate given where they are in the technical sort of thing. But that being the case, I was thinking, wouldn't mind just to travel just a little bit. I see a lot of other people around the world. They're traveling these days. They're all out and enjoying the sun and being able to go places. And here in China, you do not see it. The only travel pictures you're seeing in China are usually from the United States, or from like people I know who have gone overseas and they are no longer in China. So a few more names have actually left, and this actually got me thinking that, because some of these people are telling me how much they're earning, or at least giving an indication of how much war in Ukraine or in Georgia takes your money. It's gone, and that kind of may be one of the reasons why Evergrande got hit, got smacked so hard. And there's like graft charges and everything. And basically, with these subsidized, like if you're a subsidized company, there's charges and everything. And basically, with these subsidized, like if you're a subsidized company, there's communist rule here in China. Okay, the idea is that the government hands out money to these companies, and these companies go build up their businesses. Well, what some of these people are doing is that they're misappropriating these funds, but it's only seen in retrospect because it's seen as part of the way of doing business in order to secure some deals. Although everyone's getting government money, so I'm not sure why they're trying to secure deals. This Evergrande debacle, basically, the government said, well, you took the money and you blew it away. You blew it up. So you blew it. So you either you pay it back. First of all, you're paying it back. Second of all, you fix the mess that you made. Third of all, you're probably not going to be out of jail anytime soon anyway. So, so with this, I mean, you kind of look at what housing prices are, rent prices are here in Beijing, and yeah, they're still astronomical. My rent is going to stay 6,800 for the next year, and so that's 6,800 is just over 1,200 Canadian dollars. And I am in one of the sort of, I don't want to say swanky areas. It's not Canadian dollars, and I am in one of the sort of, I don't want to say swanky areas. It's not. It's more foreigner friendly, much more Western, a little bit more foreign oriented rather than directly Chinese oriented. Not saying that there aren't Chinese elements and there's no Chinese people here. It's just that there's a large international community in the area that I live. Also, given it's a bit more affluent as well, noted by the recent opening of Jing-A at one of the malls nearby. So these, looking at this, I'm looking up at Tbilisi in Georgia. It's just I think beer was more expensive. That's what it was. Domestic beer in Beijing is 10 kwai. And Tbilisi, it's 11 kwai. There you go. Imported beer, 12 ounce small bottle, 30 kwai in Beijing, 17 in Tbilisi. Yeah, meals can be more expensive in Tbilisi, but the prices drop. Overall, it's like consumer prices are 20% lower. Consumer prices, including rent, are 32% lower. Rent prices in Tbilisi are 50% lower. So, but I'm actually, I was talking to a buddy who's there, and he's like, that sounds a little high, to tell you the truth. So maybe I'm getting ahead of myself and thinking that this would be a decent jump. But even here, the average monthly net salary after tax, Beijing is 9,300 yuan, 9,300 renminbi. In Tbilisi, it'd be 3,000 renminbi. So there's some numbers for you to consider. And one of the reasons I was looking at this is because with the current exodus of a lot of people that I thought would be here for a lot longer than they turned out to be here, to tell you the truth, there's been such a substantial change in the working landscape here, especially given that I'm working from my apartment nowadays. And I'm sitting here like, if I didn't go out and work out twice a day, there'd be very little reason for me to leave my apartment except to go get a NAT test. And the only reason I go get a NAT is so I can go to April Gourmet, which is to buy food so I can come back home. That's it. I mean, I don't really go to restaurants anymore. There's too much of the, not even fear. I think actually it's a tinge of boredom, to tell you the truth. And I remember thinking this a couple months ago. I remember being at Jingye, and I think I just lost the taste of this. Not physically, it's not like I got a stroke or anything. It's like I just lost the sort of desire to go to these places so much, so often. And even if it was only once a week, I'm just like, I don't know if I need to be in these places anymore. And if I don't need to be there, okay, I'll stay at home, fine. But then working from my apartment, I'm going, all these people are leaving. Am I missing something? Could be, because they are talking about how cheaply they're able to live in other parts of the world. And I'm starting to think, what if, even if, because I just signed a new contract, another 6 months. I mean, why not? How long would it take to set up something that you could make €1,000, $1,000 per month, and go live on half of what you need here in Beijing? Not even half, like far less than that. So yeah, I was thinking this is something's been skewed here. The prices and the economics of living in Beijing are no longer really favorable. And I know a lot of people would say that they've never been favorable, or they've been very not favorable for a lot of people. But notably, like even in the ESL industry, it just seems that it's not as not worth as much as it was. And I say that as I'm trying to do the delta now. Righto. Humidity has moderated substantially. Fantastic. It is a lot cooler out there. It figures it's actually a little bit early for this to happen, to tell you the truth. Although the rest of the country seems to still be suffering from extreme heat. Beijing has cooled off substantially in the last 2 days, 3 days. Like the humidity has gone down quite a bit. The temperature has dropped quite a bit, and overall, it's a lot nicer to be here rather than it was 2 or 3 weeks ago already, just in terms of weather, right? As a result, I'm not sure if that has something to do with my workout intensity, but been dogging it lately. Don't know exactly what's going on. It might just be routine fatigue sort of thing. Been doing so much of the same stuff, but it feels more like a grind. Feels more like I'm just putting in the time rather than going to work out. And I'm okay with that as long as I acknowledge that it's a grind. You just put in the time, get it done. And like, even if you, when you go running for 20 minutes, if you go run for 2 miles, you don't have to go full bore. You don't have to go very fast. You can go for a jog, right? That's it. You can slow down. The thing is that you can't stop, though. And I remember this is what I learned from a Muay Thai coach back in Canada. He said you can slow down, but you can't stop. You got to keep on moving forward. He was referring to the burpees and the push-up combination that he had us doing at that time, which was very painful, or at least very strenuous. And But with these workouts, just putting in the time today, I did manage to get in both of them. In the morning, I did the 2 mile run. I did the 10 minutes of skipping, 15 minutes of skipping, I think. And then the steel club workout as well. But I'll tell you, there's so many mosquitoes out there. It's insane. You cannot stand still lest you get attacked by these things. And I even had mosquito spray on, and they were still flying through it because there was like, oh, there's just so many of them. So it's a bit crazy. It's worse than Winnipeg, to tell you the truth. Yeah, no, these mosquitoes can actually carry the dengue virus. So it's not like in Winnipeg, it's meningitis. I think it is the one that affects your neck or your spinal column. Here it's dengue fever, apparently. Now it's not talked about quite a bit, and I think they have treatments for it, but not something you really want. And it's not a fever that you want to sort of experience too much, right? That being the case, with the workouts not being as intense, tomorrow morning already I'm thinking I might have to lay off on the bike ride. I'll save it for Thursday. Already on Wednesday, I know I actually have to go across town to get some paperwork done for one of these accounts, these bank accounts that I have. And so it has to be done in person for some reason. Good old personal customer service, personal touch to their customer service. No, it has to be between hours of 9:30 and 3:30. Thanks. All right. Well, that takes away my day. It's literally across the city, so it's not the easiest to get to at all. Been thinking, this whole being tired of not being able to travel, seeing some people. It's not just the people outside of China. And I see some other people making reference to how sort of Chinese people themselves seem to be a little bit fatigued. And it's not. People are not. I don't want to say skipping, but they are certainly not as. They're certainly not hustling. With a lot of the businesses closed, I mean, I think it's not just a fear. I don't think it is a fear. I think it's more of a dread of, and not even so much a dread that it's like just weighted down. There's this cloud, this black cloud that's sort of hanging over things. I don't know anybody who has said anything good about the current policies in place. I know I remember making videos directed towards Winnipeg, like, guys, what are you doing 2 years ago, sort of thing, right? And now it's kind of like, I wouldn't be surprised if someone in Winnipeg was making a video about me here going, what are you doing? And I actually have been asked, like, what are you still doing in China? Like, do you need to be there? I'm like, well, again, I have nowhere else to go. It'd be nice. I was looking at these hikes to go. It'd be nice. I was looking at these hikes that they have, these bike rides and stuff. It'd be awesome to go travel around China a little bit more, especially since my Chinese is far better than it used to be, even though it still sucks. But being able to practice it. I remember 2 years ago, I was thinking, even last year, I was thinking, it'd be nice to take the weekend off from studying, from work, go somewhere, and then use the language skills that I have, at least sort of reinforce them and somehow make them real rather than just textbook, right? Because all I'm doing is textbook work and flashcards and textbooks and tests. That's it. Is that how you learn a language? I don't know. I don't think so. I mean, I am. So, yeah. Where do you draw the line on, I'm going to only learn this language through textbooks, or do you actually use it at some point? Which goes back to going to Georgia, or one of the reasons I looked up Georgia. It was actually not just Georgia. I was actually thinking about Ukraine as well. I mean, as long as you're not too concerned about the war blowing up too much where you're living, I don't think I'd be living in Kiev. Certainly it wouldn't be Kharkiv at all. Certain eastern portion of Ukraine would be off limits. But Georgia would be if I want to study Russian, and then Ukraine would be like, I'd probably be in Western Ukraine, Lviv, probably if I want to study Russian, and then Ukraine would be like, I'd probably be in Western Ukraine, Lviv, probably if I want to study, actually probably both, but in Ukraine, in Lviv, it'd actually be safer to study Ukrainian rather than Russian, because if I was there studying Russian, The Ukrainians would not like that. So it's you do have to be aware, culturally sensitive, that there are sort of those divisions going on. Which, that being the case, I was thinking, what if for this language vlog that I have, since it's more of an experiment of keeping me honest with my language efforts, I was thinking I got to pull out some Ukrainian and start reading a little bit. You're going to hear how bad my Ukrainian pronunciation is. Russian, I actually have to use it in my lessons, so I have to meet with my teacher a couple more times. I think I have a class tomorrow. Probably do. Yes. And so I got to brush up on some of that so I don't come across as like completely slack, even though I have been. I mean, it's just because I have so many other things going on. And Russian was more of a distraction from Chinese. And now that I failed the Chinese test, I'm kind of going, well, I should probably refocus on Chinese rather than distract myself with Russian as it is. But we'll get through it. Finally, the value of some time off. And I was thinking this because it goes hand in hand with the travel stuff in that one of the things that it's, especially now, and I know a lot of the people who are in the ESL industry, a lot of schools have actually just started back. International schools, universities have pushed off their start date for another month. So if you remember me thinking about like jumping ship, it's actually one of the reasons I don't is because this keeps on happening, where there's some sort of unsureness about whether or not things are going to go ahead. So here I just keep on going with what works, basically. But busy time. August has been very busy. September's apparently going to be very busy. But the value of having busy time. August has been very busy. September's apparently going to be very busy. But the value of having time just to sit there and relax. I don't know if you guys do this at all, but usually it used to be Saturdays that I would do this. Now sometimes it's Sunday, but more often than not, I find myself not doing this. So I remember when I first started this job with all the travel that we used to do, is that like Saturday morning, maybe it was Saturday morning, maybe it was Saturday afternoon. I think it was Saturday afternoon. After I did all my laundry, got all the other stuff I had to get done, like in the first 6 hours of the Saturday, sobered up or whatever it was after traveling and being out and finding food and shopping and stuff like that, if I had to. But then Saturday afternoon, I remember sitting down on my chair and putting my feet up and just going, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. Like, it's just like, you're so tired. And it's not even tired you can really talk about. It's just you're exhausted. You need to sit. And I found if you just sit for an hour, that's usually a good enough time. I mean, but it has to be an hour, concentrate hour of you just sitting there, not playing on your phone. I found that as soon as you open your phone, you start checking all this stuff, it's your concentration's gone and you're off your meditation. You're off your relaxation hour, basically. All right, folks, I'm going to leave it there. If you haven't had a chance, head over to my website, stevensersky.com. New episode for my podcast is available. Never to get around to setting up a separate channel on Anchor, but it is on the docket, along with a few other projects I'm going to be popping up. I've been working on some soundtracks as of late. Yes, you'll also remember that August animation was supposed to be going on. Given that it's the last week of August, I have not been able to commit as much time as I thought I would to it. But I have a few things. I've also been doing these bike time lapses that I got to get up as well. So I've got a bunch of footage I got to start publishing. That being the case, if you want to take a look at some of the things I have been working on, my website, stevensersky.com, has the latest episode number 31 with Rachel Weisz on the for my big podcast. The archives for this show will be up there as well, and then also my language vlog, and then you can also see my regular YouTube channel where I've been posting short videos of my different travel vids and stuff like that. And these are by no means in order. I've actually decided to just sort of jump around a little bit and post travel videos that I find on my phone or my hard drive and just leave it that way. All right, folks. Thanks for listening. I appreciate it. Show notes, tracks, and vids up on my website, stevensersky.com. Hope you're keeping cool, keeping warm, and working out hard out there. With that, we will talk again. Have a good one. Bye-bye. Mouse died. Mouse alive. Bye bye.